It feels like 42 tabs opened inside your head, some playing music, some frozen, some flashing warnings you don't even understand anymore. You try to focus, but the thoughts overlap, compete, cling, and the worst part, you can't find which one to close first. You breathe, but it's shallow. You rest, but you wake up already heavy. It's not noise outside, it's all internal, constant, tight. You don't want to think more, you want to think less. But not because you're escaping, because you want to hear again, yourself, the world, what actually matters. So this is not about control, not about silencing thought, it's about removing what never belonged. So the rest can finally breathe. You don't need to solve everything. You just need to stop holding what was never yours. Most people try to detox the mind by forcing it to work harder. More planning, more clarity, more steps, more logic. But a heavy mind doesn't need to think better. It needs to carry less. Like a glass that's too full, the answer isn't to stir faster, it's to pour something out. The Stoics didn't try to outthink chaos, they just refused to keep what clouds them. Because sometimes peace doesn't come from a solution, it comes from a subtraction. So this isn't about learning, it's about unholding. You don't need to do more, you need to release the extra. Let this be the entry point. Mental clarity begins with less. The mind isn't a storage unit, it's a channel, a flow. A current meant to move, not to hold everything. But most people, they treat it like a closet that never stops receiving new ideas, new inputs, new comparisons, new alarms. And slowly, the mind doesn't think, it just clutters. You scroll, you absorb, you react, but nothing lands because there's no space left. The Stoics knew this, that peace isn't gained by cramming in more wisdom, it's gained by dumping the excess. So start there, stop adding, stop downloading. Stop reaching for one more answer. Let stillness be the first filter. Not because it solves it, but because it gives everything room to become clear. Let this be the first release. Stop packing in, start pouring out. Sometimes the problem isn't the problem, it's the volume you let it speak at. You think the mind needs fixing, but maybe it just needs quiet. Not another answer, not another quote, just a moment, without demand. The Stoics didn't shout into their thoughts, they didn't debate their fears, they simply didn't react. Because silence doesn't mean weakness, it means the storm no longer owns you. You sit still, you watch, you wait, and without fuel, the noise starts to dissolve. It doesn't need a solution, it needs space, it doesn't need more thought, it needs a breath without interference. Let this be your second release. Don't fix it. Just turn the volume all the way down. Not all thoughts deserve to stay. Just because it entered your mind doesn't mean it's yours. You pick it up, you carry it, you let it loop, but it never adds, never solves, never quiets. The Stoics didn't entertain every thought. They didn't keep every storm. They filtered, ruthlessly, clearly, without guilt. If a thought had no function, it was dropped. If a worry had no action, it was burned. This is not suppression, this is discipline. A mental fire that clears space for the thoughts that build you. So ask, does this idea anchor me? Does it move me forward? If not, into the fire. No delay, no farewell. Let this be your third release. Every useless thought is fuel for stillness. Not everything in your mind is meant to be kept. Some thoughts are echoes, some are noise. Some are just mental trash that never got taken out. You didn't invite them, you didn't ask for them, but they stayed because you never cleared the room. The Stoics practiced this daily, a mental sweep, a slow walk through the corridors of their own mind. And if something didn't align, didn't serve, it was released, without drama, without delay. Because clarity isn't about thinking deeper, it's about not thinking what doesn't need to be thought. So pause, look around. What thoughts are just hanging? What judgments no longer matter? What worries repeat but never move? Take them, drop them. Let the mind echo less. Let this be your fourth release. Dusted mind, sharper presence. The mind wasn't designed to be on every channel, but now it is. Every scroll, every ping, every half-second flicker, stealing space that once belonged to you, and slowly you forget what your own thoughts even sound like. The Stoics had no feed, no screen, no noise on demand. But they had something rarer, an inner signal that wasn't drowned. And to hear it, they unplugged. Not forever, not to escape, just long enough to return to themselves. You don't need to vanish, you just need to pause, turn it off, look away, let the static settle. Because silence was never empty, it was just waiting for your attention to come back. Let this be your fifth release, turn off the world, to turn yourself back on. When the mind spins too fast, the body forgets to breathe. Not deep, not slow, just enough. And without breath, thoughts multiply, sharpen, tighten. But here's the secret. You don't fix the mind with the mind, you fix it with the body. The Stoics didn't meditate, they returned to rhythm, to breath as a tool, not to feel better, but to see clearer. One inhale, one hold, one full exhale. That's it. Not for relaxation, for clarity. Because breathing right isn't calming, it's centering. So next time your head runs, don't think, just stop, just close. Just breathe. Let this be your sixth release. Less thinking, more oxygen. Every day you spend hours on battles that aren't yours. Arguments, opinions, what they said, what they didn't say, what might happen if, and suddenly, your mind isn't yours anymore. It's reacting, defending, over-processing noise that never needed your energy. The Stoics were selective, not cold, just clear. They didn't answer every question, didn't weigh every doubt, didn't pick up every fight that didn't build them. Because your thoughts are fuel, and fuel is finite. So stop offering your mind to everything loud. Ask, does this need me? Or is it just trying to pull me? You don't have to reply. You don't have to prove. You don't have to think about everything. Let this be your seventh release. Preserve energy by picking fewer battles. The mind can't stay sharp if the body is always rushing. Most people don't think too much, as they do too much, with no pause, no purpose, no filter, and then wonder why the head feels full before noon. The Stoics weren't inactive, they were deliberate. They moved slow because they knew speed without direction is just spinning. You don't need a longer list, you need fewer tasks that actually matter. You don't need more hustle, you need less leakage. Because peace isn't found in finishing, it's found in doing what's true. One thing, fully, then done. Let this be your eighth release. Don't rush to empty your day. Move to protect your clarity. You don't need a sleep routine, you need a release ritual. Because most people don't wake up tired. They wake up with thoughts still running from the night before. No shutdown, no exit, just collapse. But the Stoics didn't end days by accident. They closed, intentionally. A brief reflection, a letting go, a moment of silence. That said, I've carried enough for today. Because sleep is not a trash can. It's a gate. And if you enter it with chaos, you take that chaos into tomorrow. So before the pillow, pause, breathe, drop the lists, unhook the mind from the noise. Let this be your ninth release. Don't sleep to escape the thoughts. Sleep because you've already set them free. Silence isn't empty. It's where the weight lifts, where the echoes fade, where the truth starts to sound like it's been there all along. A detoxed mind doesn't think less, it thinks cleaner. It doesn't rush to respond. It pauses, it filters, it sees without static. And in that space, you don't need mantras, you don't need answers, you don't even need peace, because it's already there, underneath the noise you let go. So if your head feels lighter now, protect that. Don't fill it again, don't reopen tabs, don't invite storms you've already cleared. You don't need more control, you need less interruption. Let that stillness stay, not to stop thought, but to finally hear what's real. That's not emptiness, that's freedom.